3 prisoners disappeared from Alcatraz, not by overpowering guards, not by taking hostages, not by walking through the front door. They left fake heads in their beds, climbed through holes carved into their cell walls, crossed the prison roof, and vanished into the freezing waters of San Francisco Bay. Their names were Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin. They were never found, and more than 60 years later, nobody can say for certain whether they survived the night. Alcatraz was built to be inescapable, a rocky island in San Francisco Bay, surrounded by cold water and violent currents. From 1934 until its closure in 1963, it held some of America's most notorious criminals. Escape attempts had happened before, and every one had ended in capture or death. Then, in 1960, Frank Morris arrived, a man the FBI would later call unusually intelligent, with a long history of slipping past security. He would soon meet 2 brothers who shared his obsession with getting out. Before we continue, if you love animated history like this, hit subscribe, drop a like, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it too. John and Clarence Anglin arrived soon after, and by chance, all 3 men ended up in neighboring cells. Behind those cells ran a narrow utility corridor, and that gave Morris exactly what he needed: access. Together with fellow inmate Alan West, the 4 men began planning an escape that would take nearly a year of patient, secret work. Using crude, improvised tools, they slowly widened the ventilation openings behind their cells, working only when guards weren't watching, then hiding the damage behind fake cardboard covers. Piece by piece, a secret workspace took shape behind the walls, and the escape stopped being a fantasy and started becoming real. Escaping the cells solved only half the problem. They still had to survive the bay itself. So they collected more than 50 raincoats, stitching them into a crude inflatable raft, and carved wooden paddles by hand. The plan was simple to describe and terrifying to attempt. Cross freezing, current-torn water in a homemade raft, or die trying. Their final trick was their cleverest. Using plaster, soap, paint, and real human hair, they built convincing fake heads to leave in their beds, decoys good enough to fool a guard's passing flashlight in the dark. It didn't need to be perfect, it only needed to work once. On the night of June 11th, 1962, the plan finally moved. Alan West's opening wasn't ready in time, and he was left behind. But Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers slipped through, crossed the prison roof under moonlight, and made their way toward the shoreline, while their fake heads kept sleeping peacefully behind them. In the early hours of June 12, 1962, the 3 men reached the water, launched their raft, and paddled out into the dark. The prison was behind them. San Francisco was somewhere ahead, hidden in fog, and between them was nothing but freezing current. Then they simply disappeared. At 7:15 the next morning, guards discovered 3 empty beds and the eerily convincing fake heads that had bought the escapees an entire night's head start. Alcatraz went into full lockdown. The FBI joined the search immediately, but almost from the first hour, the case only grew stranger. Investigators recovered a homemade paddle, torn pieces of rubber inner tube, and a raincoat life vest washed up along the shore. But there were no bodies, no confirmed sightings, no proof the men ever reached dry land. Years of FBI investigation could never determine whether Morris and the Anglin brothers survived or drowned somewhere in the dark water between the island and the mainland. The FBI officially closed its investigation in 1979, but never proved the men had died and never found them alive either. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin, 3 men who vanished from the most secure prison in America and never conclusively appeared anywhere on Earth. Did they drown that night in San Francisco Bay? Or did 3 ordinary prisoners actually do what Alcatraz was built to make impossible: escape? If this story pulled you in, this channel is full of them. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with someone who'd love a good mystery. The cells are still there. The dummy heads are preserved behind glass, but the men themselves are still missing. And that is the greatest mystery Alcatraz ever produced.